Dire team ban. Navi's turn to pick.
You'll see like first two picks and the first two bans will be very fast because they already know exactly, like, it's very predictable what teams are going to open with based on what you leave in the pool, but then also they want
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Navi's turn to pick. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Navi's turn to ban. Dire team ban. Navi's turn to ban. Seconds. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Navi's turn to pick. Dire Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Natus turn to pick.
Faceless Void.
Dire team back. Navi's turn to ban. Dire team pick.
Witch Doctor.
Navi's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Ranger at your service.
Well, the hype's already here. It's right behind me, as a matter of fact. 100 or 200, a couple of hundred of locals here rooting on Na'Vi. Unfortunately, not getting what they wanted to see in Game 2. As really, looking back on it, when you're in the moment, you're casting it, you're always focusing on what could happen, what should happen, and so on. It was really a slow, methodical, often exciting grind, but one that ultimately felt almost inevitable by the end, with Vici just kind of rolling over top of a Na'Vi composition that seemed to fail to capitalize. What are they going to be able to do here, guys, to make sure it doesn't happen this time around?
For VG.R, for Na'Vi,
yes,
you want to be doing, you're actually going to be, for the first time this series, a bit more on the defensive side. They're the ones who are going to have to counterplay the bounty hunter. So we're going to see Na'Vi not so much tested, but at least trying something different with the laning stage. You've got the Chen who can get aggressive early in art style, unlike some other Chen players will prioritize smoke ganking, either finding kills in the mid lane or in the off lane a lot more. So we'll see overall a different approach with Seneko here. So the last two games they had 2 roaming supports. This time it's 1 defensive and 1 roaming, so they get a bit more balance in their draft.
Well, talk to me a bit about Seneko in particular on this Oracle. We have not seen this hero have a ton of success thus far. We have seen Seneko be the one person who's able to actually execute and fit it into a game plan. What's going to be key to make sure that he maximizes his time on the map and what he's bringing to team fights?
It's all about his spell usage, using the Fate's Edict at the right time to block the burst magic damage coming out from the VG.R side, purging off the tracks continuously, using that false promise to counterplay the Batrider Lasso. This hero just brings so much utility to the table. Bottom rune.
Horn's gonna blow, and oh wow, Mikasa able to blink away just barely, but now they're gonna jump Seneko. Vici.R's there on the high ground. Dindy now left by himself. We'll go and use the wind run and does manage to snag. No, actually, check that. He did not get the rune, thought he was going to. He's now eating a ton of damage, and beautiful blocking with the tree. It's to buy Dindy the time he needs. Let's see if they're gonna be able to get around them and find anyone. No, sticky napalm, super strong, but really heads up play by Vici.R to buy Dindy the time he needed. Otherwise, he's probably dead there.
Yeah, without the tree and block, Dindy did not have a win run for another 4 or 5 seconds, and the follow-up rocket barrage would have killed him off. So neither mid lane are getting a bounty room, which does kind of at least balance out there. It's the off-lane general Void getting one, and the other bounty room going the way of the Witch Doctor, which is just going to kind of help go towards the ward fund.
While we got a minute, things seem relatively quiet. We'll take a look at who's handling who. It will be, as mentioned, Seneko on the Oracle. He's going to be hanging out here in mid. Shin will end up being played by Artstyle. Let me check in down at bottom, because it looks like this seems like a very deadly lane. FY's, yep, they're going to go on him. And Vici.R in a lot of trouble. He will be the first blood as DDC with the range of the Witch Doctor. And combined with FY and End, of course, get on the board first. We'll finish our run through quickly as we can. Dindy, the other mid hero, the primary mid hero, standing there next to Seneko for Na'Vi. Vici.R, who we just saw give up first blood, farming the safe lane, and General out in the off lane, as you had mentioned. Bounty Hunter played by FY. It will be Yang playing on our Bad Rider, doing what he can to try to make life hard on General, and now Artstyle as he's rotated his way up there. It will be DDC, as we saw, getting the first blood on the Witch Doctor, with End playing on the Gyrocopter 3 games in a row now, and Mikasa, who has been a real surprise in terms of how well he's been able to play, given he's a stand-in, back on the Queen of Pain, back in mid.
Yeah, he's been very impressive. We'll see the first kind of movement come out from the supports on both sides. FY looking for the career at mid, now going to look to secure the 2-minute rune. Seneko gets the rune, but may pay for this one.
Let's see if they're going to be able to bring him down. FY is flirting with disaster. He's got 1 second. No, the shackle! That's so well timed, it's ridiculous. And now Mikasa's on the run, has a blink in one. No, they got it too! The timing on these spells, the cooldowns, damning Vici.R to give up 2 over 1 bounty rune, and Na'Vi spring ahead.
A hell of an early game with an all-defensive general getting aggressive. Just needed the bash, unfortunately. 10% not working in his favor. But Yang's got to be very careful here. Ken nearby with an ensnare in general. Once back in, he's dying of the Firefly though.
Wow, this is, I don't know what happened there.
Whoopsie daisy.
Yeah, just got a little too deep. Artstyle's there, he's trying to bring down Yang, will not be able to get him, and now the Prophet's going to come in. Vici.R, one more auto attack will bring him down, but it's going to cost him their chin, and FY going to give Vici.R the what for on his way out the door anyway. FY's going to be careful, he's going to be netted from behind, eating a fair amount of damage. You can't mess around with treants. One more auto attack will do it, and he does manage to double back. Sentry, Sentry, what a play from FY!
He predicts the sentry placement.
And then secures the kill.
Oh God!
Oh, he's gonna now run for the creeps if he denies himself here. Okay, I thought maybe he was gonna try to.
He may still do it. He's going into a corner. He wants the shadow walk, and there's no detection.
Oh, FY's gonna make it out. Are you kidding
me? Now he
me?
probably will deny himself. May choose to not do so because he doesn't want to lose some money, and he can't spend it. Oh, he can spend it, but he wants to buy arcane boots most likely.
After those plays, man, he can take the stride of pride all the way home, and I don't think anyone's gonna question it. Like, and that's such a big deal for him. He's already level 3.5 now.
He's going for the courier snipe, of course. Yeah, like,
No
if
way.
you're Na'Vi, you're thinking we don't have to micro this courier, taking into account bounty hunter, because
No way.
you know bounty's low. He's not active on the map.
There he is now.
Radiant
He got
Nice.
the courier. Are you serious? FY God indeed.
Now he finally goes down.
He's earned a 17-second rest.
He's gonna get his stripes.
Oh, General's in trouble. Has to time walk off a fair amount of damage. Let's see how deep Yang wants to go. Actually had General down to about, I don't know, 150 HP or so. But
Pretty annoying playing against the time dilation as a Bat Rider. He'll be back, but this is damage on the tower. He takes out the creep wave, but Dendy rotating up here with a double damage rune. Yang in trouble.
And Yang out of position and out of time. As General and Dindy combine to secure the kill. 5-4. Another one of these matches, man. 9 kills. We're averaging just about 2 kills a minute now.
The action not done. Outside smoked up towards bottom lane. Navi's very much taking the approach of our lanes aren't going great, but let's find kills to try and turn things around.
DDC waiting along with FY. DDC caught by Artstyle, and he's going to get the cask off. And Artstyle overstepping himself a little bit there. DDC did take a fair amount of damage, but
the roll from the crowd was the Dendy's kill onto the Queen of Pain as well, which we didn't catch, but a big pickup for Dendy, who is now 3-0-1. Phase boots bottle 5 minutes into the game. Mikasa not having a good time with his second death and just 10 CS on Quab.
Quap is not a hero who plays particularly well from behind. Another shackle. This one's just styling, I think.
And Dendy going for the 3 points in shackle shot build doesn't have great ability to farm the lane, but his kill potential on Mikasa when Oracle is there is fantastic, because Oracle does a lot of single target damage with the Purifying Flames.
Speaking of, Sumiko gonna make his way back in the mid. If you're VG.R, you've got to help your mid now, don't you? I mean, you have to figure something out to take some pressure off.
You want to help your mid, but you also want to make sure he maximizes his farm and XP growth, because you want that level 6 Sonic Wave. So Mikasa's catch-up best comes from finding kills, and to do that he needs level 6. So you can't just dual lane the mid lane if you're VG.R. You want to give Mikasa the solo XP.
Saneko in trouble down in his own jungle. VG is doing such an amazing job of just taking control of this bottom lane. VG.R even, and just look at their warding even, how aggressive they are. They've got one back here, and I just heard I thought I heard another shackle attempt, They've got one under the tier 1, they've got one back now near the easy camp, near the pool camp in the Radiant side jungle, and they've got one watching the other side of Navi's jungle.
Yeah, they see everything on the map right now. Fantastic vision, and they're even avoiding the sentries to ward these, so. Next moves, really at this point, again, with VG.R, the playstyle revolving around, and ZYF on the gyrocopter. He's the one who can get active, find the kills. Dendy, again at mid, hits the shackle, the follow-up from Saneko, providing the damage they need, and Mikasa 0-3. The death's starting to add up, and
it's less CS than Chen.
Yeah. Every death is just more weight falling on the shoulders of ZYF on the gyrocopter.
I mean, this is really, I mean, just like every other game, man, it's tight. Where one team is succeeding, the other, and the other's failing. You flip it around and say, okay, Na'Vi, they're getting kills, they're doing a great job, but VG is doing such a good job on capitalizing any mistakes in position that Na'Vi make, even in their own jungle. Now we see Dindy's damage should go up a bit. He's got his phase boots up, certainly his mobility will be going up. And I really want to see what Vici's going to do to try to help Mikasa out. I mean, swapping lanes is a help, but we're to that stage now. Coming up on 8 minutes, we see the Jhin is very close to level 6. It's about 5.5. Navi's going to be able to start marching around and dictating the pace.
Yeah, absolutely, and could even become a smoke opportunity for them around the Chronosphere if they want to. The Purifying Flames, good damage as mentioned. Any pickups they can get going to go a long way, but VG.R perhaps recognizing that Na'Vi want to try and take the fight to them fairly soon, look to use some of these big ultimates, are going to group up themselves. They stay away from Na'Vi, looking for that T1 tower at bottom, and perhaps going to just find themselves in a trade position. Na'Vi, who are posturing around this top lane.
One big win they've had is how far their Bad Rider is, sitting at 52 CS. He's number 2 on the board behind only his teammate in End, and he's halfway to his Blink Dagger, more so now. They're going to try to get him all the way there.
With a full HP top tier 1 tower, VG.R have a lot of time to rotate up here to take this fight. DD will expire on the gyrocopter, but TP in. Bob has Sonic Wave.
They're going to find Artstyle for free. Now they're going to look for the lasso. See who the target's going to be. Flame Break only caught one. There's the lasso and General. Oh, there's the Sonic Wave from the TPN. Saneko and VG.R trying to get out. Will make it. Saneko not quite as lucky. General's going to re-engage, but decides to finally back out. Dindy's there. That looks like a miscommunication as Dindy rushed quite deep in. And now he's going to turn and hit a shackle. That's going to catch DDC. Yang's moving in. Uses the Flame Break to knock Dindy off of the focus fire, so saving his buddy there. VG again take a very good fight, and that's going to leapfrog them just ahead of Na'Vi a little bit. The goal, though, again, staying so close between these two teams. It's just back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah, just great involvement coming out from the gyrocopter and getting involved when he needs to, helping create that space. Queen of Pain as well coming up there, gets about half a level as well as the first Sonic Wave use of the game, so very much what Mikasa needs to do moving forward. Not try and farm to catch up, just go with his team, follow up the Bat Rider and the Gyrocopter with the Bat going in the front to get the lasso off the Gyrocopter, who's tanky enough just to run in, try drop a call down, rocket barrage, and just lead the way with his damage output.
Yep.
VG.R still in a good position despite Mikasa's shortcomings in the mid lane.
When I'm thinking through Navi's damage output here, you know, Dindy's obviously the big source. He's got his phase, he's got his null talisman, he's got a glove of haste, which you would imagine is going to become a maelstrom in pretty short order. We know that plus Focus Fire is going to allow him to do damage. We know eventually, not now, but eventually VG.R should be able to build some damage out as well. Is this a game you think where General maybe orients himself more towards damage dealing?
I believe we'll see the same typical Vlad's Blink type build. He's the initiator. You want to, Blink Dagger is essential for him. Vlad's is nice because it helps you farm. Also, just it is a bit of damage for everyone on your team.
Right. It makes sense. I'm wondering just I think they're a little reliant on Dindy now for the vast majority of their damage output for quite some time.
There's just not enough farm to go around for Void to go for like damage as well as the kind of utility items. You want to have a Vlad, a Blink, BKB/Aghanim Scepter, and then you can go damage, but by the time you're looking way down the line, so you're going to get small items that will help you now, and the Vlad's the Blink, the kind of cost-effective ones to do that. VG.R smoked up, Invis Rune on Bat, smoke will pop. Oh, there's Dindy, unfortunately for, oh no, a great two-man chrono, as General no, but the damage isn't there. Prophet didn't actually get his ulti off, that did a fair amount, Sonic Wave, oh my god! Mikasa just made up for a disastrous early game by flipping the script and blowing 3 heroes of Navi off the map all on his own. My goodness! 3K gold swing almost.
Oh!
I don't believe there were track kills in that fight. At least the team fight recap didn't show any track usage. He got tracked towards the end and went on General. It happened so fast, there was no time to track anyone. Mikasa just annihilates them with a perfect Sonic Wave scream. For Navi, they couldn't quite reposition. Oracle not having level 6 at the start of the fight meant there was no false promise for Dendy. Dendy doesn't initially die because of the Fate's Edict preventing him from taking magic damage, but ideal scenario is you have the false promise, Dendy can immediately turn around Shackle Shot and try and at least get some spells off, but Navi's starting to show signs of just lacking damage and team fight because of their bad start. You go for this Nature's Prophet Wind Ranger as your kind of core duo, you need to have a good start. I feel Navi's draft right now is almost too early game dependent, and when you're versing a hero like Bounty Hunter and in the hands of FY, winning the early game is a huge, huge challenge.
Yeah, I mean, it comes. There was a really nice chrono. The follow-up was there. It was actually baited perfectly. Like Navi got exactly what they wanted. They were baiting one out front when the rest were smoked behind. They got the initiation, and they were even fighting from high ground down to low for them.
They didn't have any damage from the Chronosphere, which is what ultimately becomes the problem. Oracle has some with Purifying Flames, but his entire attention during the Chronosphere was saving Dendy. He's throwing spells on Dendy. He can't like be healing Dendy while nuking inside the Chronosphere. Similarly, Dendy was not doing damage in the Chronosphere because he was lassoed up. So the Chrono was fantastic, but the follow-up damage was non-existent. Even if VG.R TP's in, all he offers is a bit of right-click damage here or there. It doesn't suffice.
Navi's got to figure something out because this is a hole that's only going to get deeper. The mech is nearly done for art style. That's going to help them a lot.
Yes. They need the mech. They need to have false promise. If they false promise Dendy there and have a mech, it means he gets a double heal. Oracle doesn't have to worry about throwing his spells defensively. Dendy gets to do damage during the Chronosphere with Focus Fire. Also, the Chronosphere can set up a good Shackle Shot to follow, so that fight can go very differently if they have mech plus false promise. So Navi shouldn't be too concerned just yet, but they are being out-farmed. That's probably the bigger concern.
What's becoming a concern for me too is, I mean, like, just when you run it through your head, everything you just said is so beautiful, and Navi's certainly capable of doing it. I'm sure we'll see them do it. But VG.R has 2 heroes that you cannot afford to knock chrono in that situation, because you have to deal with the call down, you have to deal with the Sonic Wave as we just saw, and you could even count the Witch Doctor among that too. So you're talking, it's not just enough that you get chronos. Hang on, FY caught by a Sentry. That's a great kill for Navi. But it's
also not the fight they were hoping for.
And yep, Suneko's going to end up dead as well. There's going to be the chrono. Nobody's there. Here's the call down again. Artstyle going to eat the brunt of it. And in doing so much damage, they end up bringing down Artstyle. It's going to be a 2 for 2.
Possibly not done. VG.R being chased down as well now.
And again, like I think
Two supports, not what Na'Vi want. They smoke and all they catch is the bounty hunter. VG.R can just say, okay, you got a bounty, we're going to disengage. But it's like, hey, we're actually much stronger than them. Let's actually find these pickoffs and go in for a fight.
And that wasn't even with Sonic Wave.
Yep.
And that's exactly the point I was making, was they didn't catch the gyro, so Cold screwed everything up. And that's always going to happen unless they're catching exactly the right heroes.
And for Na'Vi to be okay, we talked about how a fight needs to go for them with the false promise against the lasso, all the damage being done to the Chronosphere. That's the problem. Everything has to go perfectly, otherwise they don't get the damage they need dealt. For VG.R, they have a lot of contingency plans. They have a quad with Sonic Wave, they have a gyrocopter who does damage, they have a Witch Doctor Death Ward which gets
Yang in trouble. Oh, he missed the spell! Now they're going to be able to turn it! General, but they're going to be mech behind on Sonic Wave again! That time, it did do good damage, but they lose end in the process. Don't know they're going to mind, as Saneko should end up dead here. Yep, they do end up trading away. And catching a couple. Oh, if they get General able to time walk the damage. Mikasa right there, though. Looking for the bash, not able to get it. Mikasa's godlike! Oh.
He's going beyond.
And now is he trying to give it to him? He is. Just letting him hand it to it. That's a full 5-man wipe. It was drawn out, but it's effective nonetheless. And what more can you say? Mikasa, the stand-in, the coach, taking off his jacket and showing the players how it's done.
I mean, this game is just a great lesson for like players out there who like go and tilt a bit after a bad start. You can never give up in Dota. You're 0-3 with 10 CS at like 10 minutes in the game as a mid laner. Doesn't matter. Mikasa is the most farmed tier in the game. He's 9-3. He has had a miraculous turnaround as far as where he stands in this game, just by getting involved in these fights, in these kills. And Na'Vi in trouble here in game number 3.
Top tier 1 looks to be the target.
That's why he's also the target for Na'Vi. Gets caught out. Ultimately, these bounty hunter pickoffs are not too big of a deal because that's his role. He wants to be scouting out deep in the enemy jungle, finding out where Na'Vi are. If he goes down to like a 4-5-man rotation, no big deal. In this case, you even find the T1 tower as an exchange. Even if VG.R just get nothing except scouting information, bounty hunter's okay with that exchange.
Let's see how DDC want to. Oh, there's going to be a solo chrono. DDC is there trying to buy time. VG.R's going to come in, and in should end up dead here, and he will. Artstyle there to help him out. This is a great double kill for Na'Vi. This is the kind of thing they need to be doing. Much preferable to, like you said, those solo bounty hunter pickoffs.
Yeah, big initiation. Great play from General getting the Chronosphere, and Dendy with the full-up shackle. All the pieces coming together with that fight. Crowd's starting to feel a bit revitalized now. Yep, all right. Game 3 not over just yet.
Now, speaking of the pieces coming together, Maelstrom, now we're beginning to see that issue of sustained damage begin to be resolved at least a little bit.
Yeah, everyone wants to get what cost-effective damage items they can get now. You don't want to build up towards something too late-game oriented. Even a Maelstrom on Dendy as well. These items with inside the Chronosphere really help give you a bit of extra oomph, which they have been lacking. One of the more cost-effective damage items in the game at this early stage, and Mikasa has an Orchid though, so the game gets a lot harder for the Void specifically. If you can be fast with your fingers in Mikasa's hands when the Void tries to initiate, get the silence from before a Chronosphere, he could just go down, but that's where the False Promise comes into play. The False Promise not just to counter to the Batrider Lasso, but can also be used against that Orchid.
I do want to point out, speaking of the Orchid, top of the net worth, guess who? Mikasa.
Yep.
Absolutely crushed. Had what? Sitting at like 10-15 CS at like 8 minutes out of mid or something ridiculous, and died 3-4 times.
Something you highlighted earlier on was just how farmed and how well Yang is doing on Batrider. He's in the top 3, almost as farmed as his teammates on the Queen of Pain and Gyrocopter.
Blink 4 staff boots of travel already done.
Yeah, global presence is there, and the bounty hunter who can get active. The track kills is something that's...
This is bad news. They're going to jump Saneko. VG.R's there. They're going to focus him down too. Rocket Barrage doing great damage. Flame Break's going to knock him out of the TP channel. And that's a big double kill, and beyond godlike is Mikasa. Like, what can you say? I mean, the guy has made play after play, adversity. Guy eats it for lunch, no problem. It's his gazpacho here in Ukraine.
His Sonic Waves this game have been immaculate. It's
they really have.
Always the right position to be in. He's just hit 3-4 heroes time and time again and finds Dendy. He may actually solo kill Dendy.
Oh my god!
He says yeah, what you did to me mid lane, how about that? Let's see what really matters. 20 minutes in the game, Mikasa 11-3.
You know what they say, you can't be a god unless you slay a god, and that just happened here on that god's home turf. Mikasa piling it on, up to 3,300 extra gold hanging out, and the rich get richer as FY. Did he miss him? Yeah, FY
Maybe like the exact worst possible time, or he's just going to ward there. I didn't see the toggle vision, so.
No, I didn't see it either. I think art style just by pure luck, otherwise that or he's just, yeah.
There is a chance if you like cross paths right on the wrong side of the trees when one's going the other one way, the other's going the other, you just completely miss each other, but. Yep. This deep ward scouts out the entire Na'Vi squad, but trying to de-ward it is art style, and he's going to pay the price.
There's going to be a call down. That's going to be up at the high ground. Saneko's going to be one paying for that. There's going to be the follow-up Chronosphere, though. Jino trying to go to work with Mikasa. Beautiful positioning right outside of it. Buys the rest of his team all the time they need. VG.R caught by the Orchid. He's going to end up dropping, just shy of making it downhill. And this is just beginning to get very lopsided. By the way, we've got 39 kills in 20 minutes, man. Like, we've continued to stick at that 2 kill a minute pace. This is a true throwback kind of game.
It's been just fast-paced game after game. We had Na'Vi running the dual roamers 2 games in a row. This time around, it's the bounty hunter for FY, as well as the constant fighting gyrocopter, just setting a very fast tempo. And Na'Vi, despite having the defensive support in the Oracle, just have not been able to prevent VG.R from storming all over them when they get those Batrider blink initiations.
A little surprised they didn't fall back to just do Roshan there. They are falling back.
They don't have the best damage for it is the main concern. No minus armor, no vent or anything, and Gyrocopter is one of the worst kind of carries to take Roche with as well. Quap in the mid lane doesn't offer much, so I don't blame them for it. It's such a risky move. You group up there for a Chronosphere, well, Chrono on cooldown for a bit longer. It's just a waste of time too. You farm faster taking the map. Right. You farm faster getting kills too if you can find those with track.
Why is it they haven't been focusing stacking the Ancients as much? I mean, you mentioned Gyro not great for Roche. He certainly is great for to take Ancients and so on.
He wants to just be active on the map, and unless you go for the Helm of the Dominator build, you don't have that ability to actually stack those Ancients. And the Helm of the Dominator build makes you weaker at fighting, so he wants to have the best possible aggressive fighting build, which is going to be that phase SMY into BKB. So he doesn't want to stop up at the Helm of the Dominator. Doesn't give him survivability in the form of HP, which is what he kind of needs to survive against the Chronosphere. So, with the exception of when they're just in the neighborhood, which it looks like they were once, they've got a double stack there, they're not going to be able to stack those Ancients too often.
BKB and Greaves done, coming out for End and FY respectively, and they are ready to go fight. Their Batrider split off the top, they'll slow down, look to hook up with him near this tier 2 top, I'm sure. And, I mean, just looking at the inventories, they are just...
General needs to not get silent. Oh, good chrono.
Caught Mikasa. And here's going to be the call down and the immediate use of the Orchid. General, again, the lack of damage is killing them. False promise. Buys it back. Now Yang will be caught. And that's going to be that's a pretty good pick for them. FY going to stay on Saneko. We saw the Death Ward come out, and that's going to be a track kill, and that's going to go to End. A double kill for the Gyrocopter, as a matter of fact. And I think the weight of VG's lineup of their gold lead is just really beginning to show itself. I mean, that was fairly well fought by Na'Vi. And like you said, we saw General make it back home, the false promise and send back, and good decision making, and just the itemization is so much the heroes are choosing.
It's always Na'Vi just on the back foot, trying to find the best way to retreat and cut their losses. They're never like using the Chronosphere, like, okay, we're gonna get some kills here. It's alright, how do we not die? Let's use the send back, use our spells defensively. The Chronosphere was, even itself, used somewhat defensively because Na'Vi weren't in position to take the fight and follow up the Chronosphere with any damage output, so General jumping the gun a bit with the Chrono there. If he doesn't Chrono, he probably just gets orbited and dies anyway, so it's kind of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, and Na'Vi, as a result, struggling to find openings into this game.
Dindy spotted by FY is giving Dindy some harassment. He's going to run, actually, not even going to try to finish up getting the bounty runner for good reason. General will be TPing out, and not a moment too soon, as the Batrider was right there.
Dendy able to blink away as well before the Bat Lasso latches on. Trying to kill the Queen of Pain in the Radiant jungle, so Ending the godlike streak for 1170. Whew.
That's a fairly decent payday.
Yeah, that's handy. We're still in a bad position, but that's progress towards turning this one around. And Void's Blink Dagger comes out. That's a key item that Na'Vi have been waiting for some time. Now, with this, they can be the ones who decide like where and when the fight happens. Up until now, when the Void has to walk his way in, you're vulnerable to the Orchid. You're often seeing him use that Chronosphere in a very reactionary manner. But having a Blink Dagger means they can actually be the ones taking the fight to VG.R.
And Blink on Seneko as well. That's going to help him in his survivability a ton. He's been picked off quite a few times, sitting on 8 deaths. He does have 6 kills, which is a testament to how well he handled himself, especially in the early game. But for the most part, he has kind of been food lately. So allowing him to get in and out of fights a little easier, big step, as well as the initiation advantages that you were talking about with Na'Vi.
Yes. So VG.R have slowed it down a decent amount now, but hold on, gonna miss DJI. FY didn't actually get the track off.
Oh, he's got Shuriken Toss. Oh, he couldn't get to him.
Yeah,
he had Shuriken Toss ready.
He went for the Janata hit before the track, and as a result, they didn't actually have vision inside the Sprout.
Bad luck.
A bit difficult.
Couldn't find that angle where you can peek through.
Had the Quelling Blade, but nicely played by DJI to get out of there. Missed kill opportunity, and Na'Vi just gonna continue to sit back. They've actually farmed outside like these jungle games he's playing somehow. The Enchantress, now the Chen, just accumulating all kinds of crazy good farm, and with now a Black Dragon as well as the Granite Golem, the ideal 2 ancient creeps to have. Navi's 5-man gets a lot scarier. They still are a bit lacking in the damage department. They've got tons of sustain and survivability. The Oracle, the Chen bringing that to the table, and these ancient creeps helping that out as well. They've just got to find a way to bring down VG.R during the Chronosphere. And
yep, it's all the chrono. Like it's like, yes, you hit the chrono, you let your ranged heroes do work from outside, you maybe get a fireball down on the ground. That chrono only lasts so long. They have to get so much work done in the 5 seconds, 5 to 6 seconds whenever he does hit level 16 that they're going to have. As of right now, I worry that they're going to be able to do that because, again, VG.R, not only do they do good damage, but their itemization makes them tanky. BKB, Scepters, and on, just makes them a hard team to bring down, even in a window that wide.
Yeah, as like where things stand right now, I'm definitely sold on the idea that you mentioned, avoid going for a more DPS-oriented build, following up the Vlad's Blink. These are the 2 essential cost-effective items, so from here you can go into something like a Diffusal Blade, something which gives them a bit more teamfight presence and just damage output inside the Chronosphere, because Dendi decently farmed, but not amazing well farmed. VG.R, same kind of boat. He's gone for the more defensive route with a BKB purchase as well. So we'll see the first Sonic Wave. Mikasa with an Aghanim Scepter, not concerned about that cooldown too much, but first Sonic Wave in a while coming out from him.
Well, for now, both teams just continuing to sidestep each other, and it looks like Vici actually is going to commit to the Roche. We saw them duck in just a moment ago and rethink it and step out, and for good reason. As of right now, Navi's not really in a position to get anywhere near them to contend.
A deviation from Kent's normal Gyrocopter build, going for the FKB over the Butterfly, wanting to have a way to basically kill off Dendi through the wind run.
Yep.
Make that an unreliable spell for Dendi as far as defensive capabilities go.
I love, I mean, outside of just that, the pure damage upgrade against heroes like the Oracle. The Oracle and the Chen are really good at saving others and saving each other, but they can't save others, save each other, and save themselves all at once.
Oh,
so,
FY is walking into detection. Not going to get initiated on just yet.
Yep, now they're going to go. Very nice pick. As Dendi will take that kill.
Reveals the fact there's at least a sentry there, and he'll have a good idea there's a ward, so they'll de-ward that with Yang's gem most likely. And look to regain some of that map control and just jungle control. Their entire jungle has kind of been occupied by Na'Vi for a while, but they're going to wait for the bounty to respawn and just probably head back out with Aegis in their hands. They're the ones who will be able to control the flow of things moving forward.
VG.R might get caught here by Yang. I don't think, yeah, he's going to go for it. He does have Mikasa behind him. Sonic Wave right in his face. Going to use the BKB. There's going to be the false promise. And now the rest of Na'Vi going to converge on the Vici. Mikasa will end up losing his Aegis. Damage is there this time for sure.
General getting out of his Chronosphere once a second, actually gets onto Yang. who blinks away though. So a 1-for-1 trade, but the big kill on the Queen of Pain. A big 650 gold bounty going Oracle's way, and Dendy may not be done.
No. Oh, how did that not latch? So close. DDC is going to be there to try to punish it. Sticky napalm's there. Nothing for that to bounce off of. It's going to be a flame break. Just knocks Dendy further away, and the Death Ward coming out too late. Yang is right on top of Artstyle. Does not have another flame break to get rid of him either. So Vici tried to get a return kill, but unable to do so. And Navi just continuing to scrape and fight. And, you know, scraping and fighting, it's effective. They've just about cut the lead of Vici down to half.
It's a pick-off here or there. That's 2 deaths on the Queen of Pain since getting this godlike streak, which has been 2 big bounties going Navi's way. It's the Chen Ags as well, giving these big creeps, which are actually being used more to split push. We saw them take a tier 2 mid tower, so Navi are getting a lot more out of the map now that they've picked up a couple of these items, and VG.R need to be careful not to let this lead of theirs slip too much further.
Navi once again looking like they want to cross the river, and they're going to want to fight now. Dindy completing his BKB. And I'm trying to find Artstyle's creeps. Does he even have any yet?
Down bottom, there's just the 2 Ancients, it looks like. Isn't able to pick up any more Ancients anytime soon, so we'll see what neutrals he can get his hands on. Hellbear there, so...
Well, let's talk about if you're Vici. You've already given up a bit. You know that Navi is beginning to build up a head of steam. They're beginning to shore up the issues as we saw in that last chrono. Even your well-developed heroes are not feeling that immortal anymore. They're able to bring them down with their damage. What's the play if you're VG.R? Because right now the status quo is going against them for sure, and it could get a little bit worse if they're not real careful and keep giving up a few, just like you said, those kicks here and there.
They need vision on the map as priority number 1, and they can then look to try and find some pickoffs onto Navi, utilize their smokes. They aren't really able to go for a high ground push. They don't have the best sieging heroes. They immediately lost their Aegis and Mikasa's life following the Roshan, so their approach is to kind of prioritize forcing favorable fights, choosing them well, using the vision to do so. So, FY getting what deep wards he can up on the map, and even they've had the gem on the Barret for some time, making sure that Navi's vision is also very limited as well.
Free. They literally just got a free bottom tower.
That's the power of like the Nature's Prophet, and also just the Chen Ancient creeps. They push out the lane and then they get pulled back to Artstyle. He's not going to lose these Ancient creeps anytime soon. VG.R's physical damage is very limiting, and this is where you see a lot of Queen of Pain go for the more physical damage build with like an AC BKB, but committing towards the Ag Scepter does kind of force you into this more nuke-heavy Queen of Pain build where you can't deal with those Ancient creeps as well. You don't also scale as well into the late game, although Ags is kind of like a pseudo-farming item as well, but VG.R is going to be, again, putting a lot of the weight on End's shoulders to carry this if this goes further into the late game.
I am officially not that concerned with Navi's damage output anymore.
No, me neither.
The Maelstrom, there's Mjolnir coming out for Vici.R, upgraded from the Maelstrom obviously. Dindy probably not far from that as well. In fact, he's definitely not all that far. And now the cat barks at the dog, as VG.R, who seemed so dominant and built themselves a 5-digit lead, instead now have to begin to play dodge. But here's the problem, and I need you to shore it up for me, David. They're dodging now. Where's their window? Like, you can look and see Navi definitely has some strengths and weaknesses. Any team with a gyrocopter on it and a bat, and those two in particular, usually you can feel is pretty reliable in the ultra late game. Is that the plan, you think? And if so, how does Navi react? Or do they have to try to find a timing and find a window sometime sooner?
There's no pressure for them to win the game anytime soon. Like you say, there's multiple windows for them if they can execute well with the Bat Rider. They're looking for those pickoffs. And late game wise, they do fine. Like Gyrocopter is farming better than anyone by a pretty decent margin. Nature's Prophet, when you get past that like 50-60 minute mark of the game, actually has a very low win rate and does struggle to win those late game scenarios despite being known for its split push potential.
Right.
Very few teams actually do well with it post 50-60 minutes. So for VG.R, they're actually playing things slow, probably recognizing that they're actually just fine if this game drags, assuming they just don't give Na'Vi the big team fights with the Chronosphere. Na'Vi haven't got that real true late game carry. They've got a Wind Ranger and Nature's Prophet as their core heroes, and that's something which will continue to be a struggle for them even as they build damage items on these heroes.
There's going to be a lasso. VG.R though, helped out by Seneko. As he hits him with the false promise, and he'll make it back to safety easily.
This blink for Seneko has really paid off numerous times, just giving him that extra mobility. We're seeing this Oracle pick definitely justifying itself as far as just raw utility. Often a pick I personally question him a lot, but this game is absolutely perfect for Navi's draft.
And just continuing to farm away. He did eventually go back and pick up that Helm of the Dominator we were talking about, so I'm taking a pretty big stack of Ancients with it.
That basically tells the story of VG.R's plan. Let's actually go late game.
Yep.
Not to say they'll play passively, but they are happy to recognize that late game their lineup does fine.
Oh, this could be bad. They managed to jump Navi, and they will. Oh, the Shackle's there to interrupt it. Chrono's going to be there, but a two-man Chronosphere. Oh, there we go, Mikasa. Oh, finishing it up, and now Dindy trying to go one-on-one with Mikasa. Has to get out of the way. Very bizarre fight as it was split up in both directions. And Navi ends up losing too as Mikasa once again takes command.
Middle tower
And notches a double kill. Thought for sure that fight was going to be blown up with the Chronosphere, with the Shackle onto the Bad Rider, but then Mikasa just on point again.
Yeah, beautiful Chronosphere, but BKB on Gyrocopter blocking a lot of the damage with the Maelstrom and the Mionia. The damage output from these items is largely magical, and that's actually something where N was just too tanky there on the front lines, and VG.R will follow this up, looking to break this tier 3 tower, and LV have to be very careful. Without a Chronosphere, defending here gets very challenging, and Lasso is still up.
And speaking of, he's going to find himself a target. It's going to be VG.R. There's going to be the call down. BKB send back, so keep it alive, and another great Sonic Wave. Since one backpacking, now it's going to be Artspell has to buy back. VG.R back in the fight as well. And Navi should be able to defend here. They really need to find some kills. They spent a lot of buybacks. General hit the false promise up from the high ground. Dindy laying it into Mikasa. General still in some trouble. Mikasa will be able to make it away and end. Giving credit for that kill, VG.R next on the list. We've reached a point where VG.R is almost doubling up Navi in kills. The gold graph has taken an absolute plummet, and this is going to be Rax. Do believe, unless Navi can get it together in a hurry, this is going to go the way of Vici.
Yeah, they can't afford to initiate and lose heroes who don't have buyback here, but at the same time, losing a lane of Rax when you don't have the best late game is a bigger concern.
There's a BKB, and just going to go ahead and TP with it. They lost the Rax. Of course, the range Rax not the priority, left standing. But, I mean, the itemization, again, is just so far ahead for Vici. The Bounty Hunter's got 3,000 gold. He's already got himself a Staff of Wizardry. We'll see what he wants to pick up with that. The Bad Rider, Yules. I mean, at this point, he could just about one-shot by a BKB, man. Like, he is so far ahead, it's ridiculous. Witch Doctor, he's already got a Ghost Scepter to get Dindy off of him. Already got an Aether Lens, had that for a while, and then, yeah, I mean, we've got a Gyro who, for the third game in a row, played by End, is short of 40 minutes, getting damn near 6-slotted.
And that 6-slot Gyrocopter is going to come around the time of the next Roshan, which you've got to imagine VG.R will be looking to secure, put the Aegis on the Queen of Pain again, and then go for that next high ground siege attempt.
Gonna be a smoke from Navi. FY is there to scout it, perhaps.
Concerned about Roche. They know it could be up any time.
There's gonna be the immediate track and the chrono used on FY.
I don't think that's really worth it.
Yeah, now they're gonna re-engage. VG.R gonna be last one. There's gonna be the call down. Immediate heal from Artspell. Is it gonna be enough? No, not for VG.R. It's not. Dindy's been engaged. He's gonna be false promise to buy him a little bit of time. Seneko and Artspell now rushing uphill. Don't know that they're going home, but the hard way. Triple kill for N. There's a buyback out of VG.R. And we're going to see DDC perhaps drop as General's back involved. Mikasa has bought back that hill from the Witch Doctor, buying a ton of time. Dindy gonna come back down to earth. He's out of mana and he's burning down. Mikasa there to help secure the kill off of the buyback. VG.R again being chased down by Yang. End is right there with him. So General coming in to do anything he can to buy time. It actually will be enough to get his buddy out of town, not enough to save himself. As he's gonna be caught up with. Now he's gonna try to TP away. Yules is there to prevent that from completing. And Navi lose 4. There were so many buybacks involved in that.
Including the Nature's Prophet, so
Yeah.
it was at least 5 deaths on the Na'Vi side. Just the Queen of Pain buying back on the Dire side, and well, here goes your high ground. No Chronosphere for Void. He's dead for 45 seconds without buyback anyways, and
Bottom barracks are under attack.
that is close to game over for Na'Vi in game number 3. Down 2 lanes of Rax. This is before VG.R even go for Roshan, and
Radiant's bottom
Na'Vi's late game weakness is starting to show with their lineup.
I think what it comes down to, and what the tail of the tape's going to be, is room for error. You know, we harped on it all game, and it never really let up. Was just Na'Vi had to have A lead to B, lead to C, lead to D, lead to win. And that's the only way it was ever going to happen. If they missed the gyro, it was going to be a call down. If they missed Mikasa, it was going to be a sonic wave, which we saw blow them up time and time again. And then, like you said, I think it's a very astute call. The investment of the chrono on FY, not worth it at all. And as soon as VG.R saw that, they said, okay, that's fine. We got one track revision. We're ready to fight this out. Now, not far from an Aegis, Na'Vi moving in that direction. We'll see if they actually want to challenge this. They're going to try to catch them on the way out. Either way, the Aegis will be snagged up by the Queen of Pain once again.
When the tracks start coming out, it's danger time.
Here we go, General grabbed out, false promise right on point. Caldown's gonna be on point as well though. Catches 2, and eating a lot of damage as his DDC. General just can't do it alone. Na'Vi off of the heel, trying to re-engage, but once again, Mikasa saying, get out of my house, because it's Mikasa. Sends them packing with an ultra kill, and it solicits the GG.
For a split second, I'm sitting there like, whoa, perfect Chronosphere. Na'Vi, and they actually turn this, and then, Mikasa shows up to the fight. Easy. It's almost like the perfect way for the fight to unfold, where Gyrocopter finds himself in a bad position, but as a result, Na'Vi, they group up around the Gyro trying to kill him off, and it just sets up the Queen of Pain. Every single time, Gyro's in the front lines, and it leads to these Mikasa Sonic Waves on 4 or 5 heroes.
Yep.
Absolutely fantastic.
I don't think we ever put it quite in these words. The only way Na'Vi could do damage with the Chronosphere was they have to group around it.
Yes.
Like,